Welcome to another episode of Sticky Notes Podcast. And the results are in. Salvador here.
Yeah, so why don't you tell T here? Why don't you tell us who won?
At least you remembered your name this time.
Shut up.
So, vote for Trump! Vote for Trump!
Yeah, like, nah. So this episode is gonna be like a part 2 to our last week's episode.
Yeah, because he won. I told T.
I honestly thought that Kamala was gonna win, but she lost in a landslide. She got 226 electoral votes. Trump got 295. They're still counting Nevada and Arizona, but those look like they're gonna be won by Donald Trump.
They're still counting?
Yeah.
How are they still counting?
They're still counting. Sometimes
don't they got machines for this?
Yeah, but it takes a while. This was actually done fairly quickly. I think by like 2:00 in the morning, they already knew who the president-elect was going to be. Sometimes it can take days or weeks.
It's a scam.
No, you know what's crazy though is there's people who sent their mail-in ballots who, when they check to see the status, it says that it hasn't been counted.
It's fake news, I tell you.
But I guess it wouldn't matter because in a lot of states he was winning by hundreds of thousands.
Man, as soon as the election started, he was winning. She had like 3 electoral votes. He had like 20 something.
Yeah, and allegedly she won in the states that don't require an ID to vote.
They don't require an ID to vote.
Not all states require you to have an ID now.
So you could just walk in there and vote.
I guess.
What did you have to have? You had to have something.
I think you just have to be registered.
But don't you have to have some kind of form of ID to register?
Not in every state. You don't.
Vote for Trump!
You know what's crazy though is he won the Republicans won the president. The Senate is now Republican, 52 to 45, 50 for the majority. And the Republicans won the House. It's 218 for majority. They got 210. Dems have 197. And once Arizona and Alaska finish counting.
So it's a Republican world.
And parts of Washington and California, Trump, the Republican Party, they're going to take over the House.
What do you think Putin's thinking?
He congratulated Donald Trump. Donald Trump today got a lot of phone calls from Putin and Xi Jinping, the president of China.
Xi Jinping?
Yeah, he wants to have a peaceful relationship with the United States. They pointed out that history shows us that cooperation between China and the United States will benefit both sides, and the fight will hurt both sides. I think it's interesting that one day after Donald Trump won, all of these countries are now trying to be peaceful with the United States.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. Shout out to your peoples. Xi Jinping.
I'll tell you what, one of the first things that Donald Trump is going to do is we're going to have a birthday for America. It's our 250th anniversary since we declared our independence.
Oh, what do you mean? They weren't celebrating it before?
They were. They used to have something called, what was it called? Like a state fair or... let me look it up. It's a world fair, and it showcases each state. They used to have it back in the day, like in the early 1900s, and so he's going to bring that back. He said he's going to work with all 50 governors, Republicans and Democrats, to create the Great American State Fair.
So everybody's going to have a fair on that day? Every
state is going to have something on that day.
So it's going to be another day? Or you know how they got who can blow the biggest bubble day. They got taco day.
Yeah, well apparently Iowa is gonna host it, where millions of people from around the world can come to the heartland of America, but each state is gonna have their own thing.
They got stepbrother day. They
have National Girlfriend Day.
They got National Second Cousin Day. What's going on with that?
I don't know.
When's National Puerto Rican Day?
the day you have the Puerto Rican Day Parade?
It's always on a different day.
Well, pick one. When is National
They need to declare.
When is National Biracial Day?
Anyway.
That's my day.
So Kamala took all night to come out and talk, huh?
Yeah, how do you feel about that? She didn't concede until the next day. Some people were saying they were waiting.
Concede is a pretty funny word.
Some people said she was waiting to see if anything changed, but I felt like it wasn't right because all of her supporters were there. They had waited all day. I felt like she could have came out for at least 5 minutes to say thank you for your support. I'll make a longer speech tomorrow, but thank you. Let's go home.
She was walking in place to the podium. Thank you. Like, and then she was like doing the little thing that you do with a sock puppet with your hand. Thank you. Like she was speaking with her hands to people.
Yeah, well,
I'm not trying to clown Kamala. I'm really not. I'm not.
I have my theories on why she lost. What's your theory on why she lost?
She lost because they took forever to. She never went through the proper channels. She needed to go through the proper channels to get to where she was at, and she didn't. Like, there was plenty of people, I think, that would have been a better representative for that party.
Yeah, the Democrats' first mistake was putting Joe Biden in.
And I feel like... Go ahead.
And then once they realized he wasn't fit, they threw Kamala in there. But there were better Democratic options that they could have went with. And I feel like most of Americans this year didn't vote because of a specific party, because there's a lot of Democrats who voted Republican. The biggest thing is the economy. Most of Americans, they voted, are better or worse off this year than they were 4 years ago financially, and they couldn't. It was too big of a risk to vote for Kamala.
Yeah.
Because of what happened these past 4 years, I think Joe Biden's presidency was a huge part of that. It was too big of a risk. Most Americans, they're not going to survive another 4 years of this economy. So that's why they went Republican.
Yeah, and no, you're totally right. I think that was probably the main reason why people went the other way, because they're sick of what's going on now, and they, at least they're saying when Trump was in office things were a little smoother, but we got to think about the pandemic, and there's so much things that has happened since that. But she just wasn't the right candidate at that time. Not saying that she might not ever be the right candidate later, and I think this is a good it was a good learning, training thing for her, you know what I mean? Because she's probably going to run again. And she'll know. I feel like she needed to show more of herself. I don't feel like she showed her personality enough. Like they were saying on the show, Trump was willing to go to these places to sit down with these people and have the interviews and all that. Like she was asking people, like, no, you need to come to me. And like she had too many stipulations. And Trump, he was just out there with the people. The whole assassination attempt, I'm still up in the air with that. Like to me, it's just like, come on, man, this is like it seemed like it was a movie script to me. But anyway, the guy's president, and it's pretty crazy. We got a convicted felon as a president. Like that really shows for what 2024 is. Like this is 2024. Like this is
you have a convicted felon as president, but as a felon you can't vote.
That's crazy. And people out here can't get a job at certain places, but you can be president.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's like, yo, this is it's almost like third world country type stuff. Like this is not like this isn't what should be happening in our times right now. Like this type of stuff would happen in a third world country. Like it would happen there. But like here, like it's crazy.
Yeah, the Democratic Party, the next election, they're going to have to do something completely different. They're going to have to start over because how they do things clearly isn't working with Americans anymore. Like she had all these celebrity endorsements, nobody cares. Nobody cares about celebrities anymore. I think that one girl, Candace Owens, said the video we were watching, the whole Diddy thing played a little part in it because everybody started noticing all of the people that all the celebrities endorsing Kamala are the same people that are on Diddy's list.
I didn't hear anything about the people starting to realize that until yesterday. That was the first time that I actually heard about it. But speaking of having a hard time getting a job, we did a really good interview with a friend of mine, Joe Nicholson, and we're gonna let you hear it. He's doing some incredible stuff out here, trying to help people get jobs that have felonies and stuff, and really trying to help people convert from being incarcerated and living that type of lifestyle and having to live with your back against the wall every day and not being able to trust anybody. He's helping them people get jobs out here and try to turn their life around. Shout out to him. Tune into this interview and we'll be right back. All right, so I have the pleasure of speaking with a good friend of mine, Joe Nicholson. How you doing today, man?
What's going on, man? I'm here. I'm doing well.
You're doing well. God bless you, man.
I'm saying, brother.
I see you got a lot going on here, man. You have you're part of a lot of really good things that are going on.
Yeah.
I see this Reentry Coalition, the Chester County Reentry Coalition.
Yep.
You get the Path. You have some Pathfinder.
Yep.
Can you give me just a little bit more on this Reentry Coalition? This sounds really interesting.
Yeah, the Reentry Coalition's designed by the top officials in the county, from the DAs, the judges, the top cops, top prison officials, just to help brothers and sisters who are transitioning back to society from prison.
Okay.
But they needed a different voice, so they needed an actual prisoner who could convey the messages from the prisoner side to their side clearly. You know what I mean? So I'm playing an independent role as a reentry contractor to help brothers and sisters build action plans, reentry plans for success, because I'm a certified life coach. Plus, I also spent a lot of time in prison, but I designed Pathfinder while I was in prison. And for about 9 years, I taught that program while I was incarcerated, and it had really, really high results. So right now, they're actually trying to implement this program in the county prison, but I'm eventually looking for this to reach the state level and the federal level. It's infernal right now. Everybody's listening to this plight and this ploy that I have with Pathfinder. So, speaking on your podcast and stuff helps this also get out. And
I appreciate that, man. And so you created this Pathfinder thing while you were incarcerated?
Yeah, it's actually modeled after this program called Thinking for a Change.
Okay.
But it's basically like a peer assistant program where if you're struggling and you don't know which direction to go, a Pathfinder will help you. In between your resource officer for parole, there should be somebody whose situation is relatable to yours, because relatability is 80% of everything basically out here.
Okay, so Pathfinder is pretty much the label of the person that's helping you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but it's also the name of the program, but it's a label. It's
that's
the
really
label
interesting. That's really interesting, man. That's really good to hear that you're doing this. And
Yeah.
you have people that are around that are helping you also, right?
Right now I have the program director of, I pretty much, man, have every top official in the county right now, from the top of parole, the top of probation, one of the top judges for mental health court, the program director for reentry and human services in Chester County. Plus, my partner in this is a retired sergeant of the Malvern Police Department. His name's Lloyd Douglas. He's my partner, and he's going to offer the law enforcement side of how they treat reentrants wrong. It's like one of a kind. There's no duo with somebody who came from this angle and the law enforcement angle. And to be honest, Lloyd's not the type of cop. I wouldn't have a straight Jake in my group. I was in prison and I knew the deal. But this dude has the ultimate perspective from law enforcement to actually help other cops and COs really understand the people that they're dealing with.
Yeah, you gotta have somebody that actually wants to help. So that's really awesome that you're a part of that and that you're kind of spearheading the whole thing. That's amazing. So that's really good to hear. And you have also other things going on. What's this trendy apparel like?
Yeah, Vintage Trendi is just my It's not necessarily like a clothing line. It's just it's really like wear your journey. So whatever you want to put on your shirt, it's important to feel empowered like by the things that you're wearing, and certain words mean certain things to people. So it's a apparel customization group that my girlfriend and I put together in the basement. And right now we're spread out to like locker rooms like Ohio State, Penn State, East Stroudsburg. So we're like kind of all over the place right now just from this basement up here in Hillside in Coatesville. So it's like kind of successful. I never wanted to be like some Ralph Lauren, but that's really what Vintage Trendi is all about. Like taking old things and making them trendy now. But like sportswear, custom gear, whatever you want.
Do you have somewhere where people can access this vintage
100%.
trendy?
VintageTrendi.com. Vintage Trendi.
Vintage
Trendi. Yep. Vintage like old school. Trendy like new, but trendy with an I. My fault. Trendy with an I.com.
Okay. VintageTrendi.com. That's pretty easy to get to.
Man.
And is there like do you have a phone number that somebody you're willing to put out there, or?
My phone number is 484-888-8143. And my name is Joey Nick. Or you can ask for Gabby. It doesn't matter who you call for, me or my girl. And my email is vintage.trendy24@gmail.com.
Vintage.trendy24@gmail.com. And I'm going to ask everybody who takes down this information not to spam this man. He's doing a great thing. And I'm going to wrap it up, man. But I appreciate your time, dude. And I really hope and wish the best for you. It's a really good thing that you're doing here, man. It's very, very impactful, man. Very, very impactful. There's not a lot of people that are doing what you're doing.
I appreciate it, man.
But me and T really appreciate your time, and this is going to go up. So I'll get back to you, and we'll talk later.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate you and T, man. And the Sticky Notes podcast, we're going to try and make that joint bump. So I'm going to let everybody know that this is my man's thing.
For sure.
That's all I know. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. Yeah, shout out to Joe. Man, like, we need more people like him out here. Like, we really do. He got a lot going on. Go check out his clothing line.
Vintage Trendi.
Or VintageTrendi.com.
We're going to put the link in the description. He also his phone number and his email I will put in the description as well. Please check out his website. Yeah,
and don't spam this man. Like, this is serious stuff. Like, he's willing to put his phone number, he's willing to put himself out there. If you're gonna hit this guy up, have good intentions. He's really trying to do, I met this guy at the barbershop when I was doing the interview with Anthony in our last episode, the election episode. And he was willing to give me some time there, but we had a lot going on, so we couldn't do it at the time. So I just got off the phone with him, and shout out to him.
Yeah, he's doing a great thing for the community, working with pretty incredible people.
And his girl too, Gabby, her name is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Yes, so definitely check that out. So what do you think these next 4 years are going to be like? Most people think they're scared.
Yeah, I mean, no, a lot of people, no, not most people right now, to be honest with you. Most people are happy and they think that good things are going to happen. The people that are scared are the people that voted for Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
But me, I'm like, I can't say it can't get any worse, because it can get worse, but so we'll just have to see. Like, I'm not gonna live my life in fear. I try to do right. I do what I gotta do, take care of my family, typical stuff that people do, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. We're gonna have to see,
Yeah, I guess as a woman, I have a different feeling because of, reproductive rights, and there's already women dying because they're not being able to have access to proper medical care, because he left it up to the states. So, they said, him and Vance said they were not gonna create a national abortion ban, and it's up to them to keep their word. It's up to Donald Trump and JD Vance to keep their promises to Americans. It would be nice if they could do something on a federal level that will protect women and our rights to health care. Will that happen? I don't know. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But we can't do anything about it. We just have to keep living our lives one day at a time.
November 7th. It's my daughter's birthday. Shout out to Z. Love you, girl.
Happy birthday.
So, yeah. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we got some good things coming to you. Just tune into the next episode.
Yep. And all the information that you need is in the description.
Go see our weekly sports picks.
Thank you for tuning in to Sticky Notes Podcast.
Sticky Note.
Tuck the shorty cause it stick out. Alleyway stories, I was walking with that thing out. Any given Sunday, ain't no telling what I bring out. Couple little shooters had to tell them run the dig route. Mr. Make it happen, get it crackin', and I skip town. Find out where you at, I'm like, what happened to that big mouth?